Hi there. Well, this is going to be a salt spa-like bar that I'm calling Salty Swirls. First of all, the oils. I have, of course, coconut oil, olive oil, there's mango butter, cocoa butter, shea butter, and castor oil. I'm using rose clay and kaolin clay. I have sea salt and Himalayan pink salt. And then I have larger grains of both the sea salt and the Himalayan salt for putting on top as well at the end. And this is going to be a pretty quick video because this just didn't take long to do actually. Matter of fact, from the moment I cut it, or excuse me, from the moment I made the soap to the moment I cut it was 3 hours. So this one was really simple. So this doesn't require a whole lot of edits, thank goodness. So I'm just stirring in the lye water here. I was taking my time with this. I just wanted to keep a rather loose emulsion. Excuse me, I blanked out for a moment. Because this has so much salt in it, it tends to firm up much quicker. Which is one of the reasons why you can cut it so early. With that much salt in it, it really does harden up quickly. And anyway, so this process will go rather fast. So I'm going to separate out about half. I'm just eyeing this because this doesn't have to be too accurate. In this part, I'm going to add in the sea salt, which I've ground to a very fine texture, and the rose clay. Gives this a very nice pink color, actually. I was very happy with the way it turned out. So I'm being very careful not to create too big of a dust cloud here. I've seen so many folks make these, and I had not ever made a salt bar before and just decided to give it a try. And it was much easier than I thought. I'm now putting in the essential oil that is lavender and, I'm blanking out, Meyer lemon. Essential oil of the lemon and of the lavender. The one thing I would do differently is mix the mix the lighter color first. That way I don't have to worry about cleaning this all off and getting red inside my lighter color. And I apologize for the position of the mold here. When I was doing this, I just miscalculated the position of the mold, and for that I sincerely apologize. Near the end, I figured that out and put it in the right place, but that doesn't help now, does it? But you can see at least the end of it, and you can see, and it looks rather dark there. That does lighten up. And it's amazing to me the differences that can occur when once soap cures. It's just amazing how colors can change. Yeah, especially if they go through gel stage. So in this container, I'm going to put the kaolin clay and the sea salt. And you can put up to 100% of the weight of your oils and salt. I'm using about 33%, I suppose. I didn't do the math on it, but I'm using a much lower percentage. And the only reason for that, since it was my first one, I just wanted to make this simpler on myself. If you do that 100% salt, it's my understanding it can be much more difficult to cut unless you're using silicone molds, individual molds. And I want to do this in a loaf mold. It's easy. I have a specific recipe. I know just how much to make for this mold, so that's why. And I actually, because of the salt, there's a little more left over of this color actually that I'm pouring. So I end up pouring that into a separate oval mold that I have. And that's all the mixing that I did. I didn't do any swirl. It came out with some lovely swirls, which you'll see in the cut soap. But okay, here it is now. I did edit here because there wasn't much to show. I did put the salt on top. So that's what you're seeing there. I've got the both the Himalayan salt and the sea salt on top, just as a little added glitz on top. And then what was extra I poured into those oval molds that you see there. And so now we're going to go into the cut, and this is just 3 hours later. From the time I mixed the lye with the soap, it was 3 hours from the time that I actually cut it. So here it is. As you can see, it's already lightened up a bit. It has lightened up even more since I cut it. And the one thing I will say, because of the salt inside, you do get a few more drag marks than you do in traditional soap. Excuse me. I think the only way to avoid that might be to use a knife or a blade other than the wire. But you can see there it's swirled very nicely. That Kaolin Clay just really does, I think, coordinate wonderfully with the pink or the rose clay. So if you decide to make this type of soap, just be very careful with your cuts. And one other thing, I would make a bit of a thicker trace next time. Some of the salt settled at the bottom of these, and that's because it was a very thin trace on that first layer. So I think next time I would have a thicker trace so that salt would be more suspended in the soap. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the rest of these. I want to thank you all for your continued support. You're just fantastic people. You're always so friendly. The comments are very generous, and I really appreciate you. So I hope you have a terrific day, and I'm working on another video tonight. So I'll see you back soon. Thanks, everyone.